Welcome to the round of British Columbia here at the Vancouver Superspeedway. This brand new Superspeedway is on the old site of the Canadian International Speedway, which hosted ARCSOA Elite Series for a number of years before the track became a bit too, crazy for that. So now there's a bigger facility that has a little bit more room, so good to see that. Major news items are that Christian Vander Pesch took a very nasty incident on the front straightaway here with Ryan Matthews and Scott Roush. He was knocked out. Roush and Matthews were able to continue onward, but Madeline Myatt will be filling in the 4-car for today's race, as this will be, I believe, the only time her and her father will ever start a race, at least for the foreseeable future, because Myatt, Kenny Myatt, that is, won't be racing full-time next year, in which Madeline Myatt, I believe, will be. I believe with Blue Flare. Another major news item is that we're coming up to a couple more super speedways on this season, and a couple more, not super speedways, a couple more speedways where we're going to Phoenix, Darlington, Michigan, which is a short track, and Phoenix with Road America thrown in there. Final news item is that it is unseasonably hot, and we can expect a lot of mechanical problems. Let's get to the race. Before weaving it going, Cooper Siren would have an issue with the 44 car, and he would not make the start. A lot of people have been calling this track the Super Speedway in a can. It is one of the smallest super speedways I think anybody's ever seen. It's going to be a really ragged start, but green flag is out. This is a super speedway if you're on the outside line, but if you're on the inside line, you really need to back off around here. Tristan Wilhoit didn't get a great start from the outside lane as Arndt has the lead over Charles Sanford. Sanford needs to do well here at Vancouver to really get what he wants here, as you can see it's flat out, and then the natural banking will take away a lot of your speed. Here comes Sanford making the inside work. That's the first time I think all weekend we've seen the inside work here. I don't know if it's going to work here though. Yep, Arndt's going to fly around on the outside. The Super Speedway in a can is going to be very difficult, as now you can see Bastier kind of slid there, and Angel and Myatt are all over the back of him. Myatt had to back off there in the entrance of the corner. You get really loose down there as Rahaal's diving underneath him. Charles Sanford now is rocketing around the outside, trying to hold off Wilhoit as Arndt takes off to a pretty big lead. Wilhoit's going to keep trying, I think, down low, as I believe somebody else is on pit road. That is the 61 of Ryan Matthews on pit road, so tough break for Matthews. He had a tire go down. Matthews' teammate Evgeny Kuznetsov would also grenade the motor at this time, so bad start for the Roos Matthews brigade as they are on pit road and out of the race for at least Kuznetsov. As you can see, it's not really a super speedway race. As you can see, as the majority of the field is pretty spread out trying to catch John Arndt here. Very difficult track to make a pass on. As you can see, a lot of grip this track's got, but they seem to be skating around here like Indy cars with the amount of banking they've got. But you're already seeing a lot of, they're all trying to do some crazy stuff. It almost looks like a video game, the way they're kind of skating around this track here. But Sanford is starting to make some inroads in on Arndt, and that's going to be important. But passing on this track is very difficult. Cooper Siren has rejoined the race and actually is being caught by John Arndt here. When Arndt does catch him, though, that might make things a bit difficult for Arndt to hold a big lead, as battle for third maybe between Ryan Griffin and Wilhoit as Griffin makes the move work, sliding by on the inside. I don't know if I can necessarily call this a super speedway, because they seem to be backing off the throttle a lot more than we thought they would. So it's not really a super speedway. It's kind of a speedway mix thing, but with the grip that this track's got, it's kind of crazy. Ryan Matthews has a lot more than just a tire going down. I think there is something rather serious with that 61 car, maybe a cylinder, which is what cost his teammate Kuznetsov. Whoa, Charles Sanford's trying an aggressive move down low, and Ryan Griffin's going to gain a lot of spots that way as well, as now finally the 15's going to try and make a move on Siren here. Not going to make it work, and now that's going to put Sanford right up to the back bumper of the 15 car, and now Sanford's diving underneath, trying to enhance his point lead. Whoa, almost come contact there with the 15 car, trying again, not going to make it work. He had to back out of the throttle. Arndt shut the door on them there. As I said in the pre-race headlines, the heat is quite bad here, and Kenny Myatt would experience another mechanical problem here on lap 13. That is the next car out of the race, so very high mechanical rate failure here as cars are falling off left and right with apparent engine grenades. So it is very interesting to see that these mechanical problems taking place. Sean Angel and Roman Rahal now are stuck behind Ryan Matthews, sorry, not Ryan Griffin, as they're trying every which way to get by the 61 car. And this has actually formed kind of a pack here. They gotta be careful because pack racing on this track, oh, Rahal gets away nice and cleanly. But pack racing here is kind of scary, to say the least, with how close quarters and how kind of aggressive and one groove this track is. It's kind of like the Parisian Oval on steroids. And it is a battle of pretty much aggression to try and see what happens here as you're starting to see them kind of rocketing. Oh, caution is out. Tomas Saarinen here would get turned by the 8 car, and Saarinen's trying to keep it back under control. He gets on the brakes, gets into Madeline Myatt. Matty Myatt goes into the outside wall, and that's where Roush and a few other cars slide in there. Ekdahl, Fitzwater, Matty Myatt's pretty much done. And, well, not a great day for the Myatt Brigade as, ooh, contact there with John Arndt, the leader. So, yes, Arndt gets on the brakes here. They're racing back to the line, and, well, Arndt runs into the back of Ekdahl there and gets caught on the banking, and Arndt can't get away. Here it is again as Matty Myatt just almost missed that wreck as, ooh, Shepard maybe got a bit of a hit there as, ooh, Madeline Myatt gets nailed by Ekdahl, but luckily it remains pretty much a 5-car wreck there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 6-car wreck, and then Arndt will come in as the 7th car. We're with Scott Roush. You're going to see the wreck happen in front here. There's Madeline Myatt going up in the wall there, and, well, Roush didn't have a lot to go. Scott Roush is quietly confident coming into this weekend, thinking that he could possibly win, but not going to happen. Chris Washer had our helmet cam today, and, well, you're going to see this go pretty crazy here in front here. Washer had nowhere to go trying to avoid Saarinen, and, well, you're going to see the entire field kind of just bottles up there. On board with the 4 of Madeline Myatt, who's filling in for Vanderpesch, who was injured at this track, and, well, Madeline Myatt got lucky that she was only her second ARCSOA Lead Series wreck. She's got to be lucky that she got out of it better than she could have. On board with the car that hit Madeline Myatt, now Lucien Ekdahl, and, well, you're going to see this wreck just takes place right in front, and not a whole lot Ekdahl can do. He could have maybe gone high, but I think there was an idea that the field was going to come down low. That car was, the 4 car was going to come down, and, well, oh, and there's where Arndt hits him, but there was an idea that the 4 was going to slide low, and, well, Ekdahl just misjudged it, really. So here it is again. Right here, you're going to see Saarinen slides up the track, right into Myatt there. Myatt's going to slide down the track. Saarinen's going to get, barely scrape 46 car, and that's where Washer had nowhere to go. The 60 had nowhere to go, and then a little further back, the 39 gets into the 4. Man, good avoidance there by Jacob Hart, and I believe the 6 car of Cross missed that quite well. On board the 6 of Cross now, we have pretty much every car this year has onboard cameras, and we're kind of glad about that. Great avoidance there by Cross. Charles Sanford would lead on the restart here as a couple of cars get bogged down behind Ryan Matthews, who is, of course, down a cylinder. And, well, you don't want to do that too often, as that, and Pericles would actually slide behind Baskinger, and that would slow these groups up as cars are trying to get by Matthews, and a lot of these lap cars are not exactly as fast as they could be, as, oh, actually, Baskinger's on the lead lap, but I was thinking he wasn't. Ooh, that's a close pack. You don't want to get into that too often. With the 8 car, we already saw DJ Curtis and Tomas Saarinen had a pretty scary accident there that could have been a lot worse. However, scary accidents would take place here as Kyle Collins goes into the inside wall, hard into the inside wall. Slide up the track, get into Gabe Messina, Jay Stella, and I believe Alex Allen got a piece of that as well. And that would bring out your second caution of the race. So Kyle Collins' Canadian tour didn't exactly end as well as he would have liked. This is DNC's home race, of course. Well, didn't exactly end like DNC would have wanted to, at least on the 3 car. On board with Gabe Messina here as well. Mesina's just going to get a little bit of a tip there, go around into the outside wall, and collect Jay Stella and Alex Allen. Not a whole lot either can do. Under caution, Eddie Padcar would also fall out due to an accident, it said, but we didn't notice anything, and Padcar just pulled into the pits and fell out, so not sure what that's about. Due in part to the pit road cycle, Ryan Griffin would lead on the restart. Ryan Matthews is, of course, on the inside, and we're going to see if anybody dives behind Siren here. That's going to be risky if they do, because we know how slow Matthews is. And actually, quite a lot of cars got by them cleanly here. Looks like Ben Atkins is going to be the first to dive low. Hopefully we don't see another wreck there off 2, or off of 4 for that matter. Don't want to see that too often here, because this track is not too nice when there's an incident, kind of by its sheer design. Despite being in a small wreck early on, Aiden Shepard's up into P4. Great job by Shepard to be up this high up the grid. There's Nick Pericles, the Superspeedway master. Noah Harden does well on these kind of short Superspeedways we've seen. This track's about the same size as the old OK Corral, as DJ Curtis is now chasing down Ryan Griffin for the lead. As, like I said, this track isn't easy to pass on, but it is very difficult to make a move because it is one groove, so very easy to make a mistake, but very difficult to make a pass. Excuse my confusion there. Charles Samper, who led that last stint before the caution, is now down in 8th position. We're going to see what Samper's going to do here. You can see the leaders on his onboard cam, but he does have a long way to go, and it's, like I said, not easy to pass on this track. Funny story here that the Silver Speed Brigade put up an American flag on the backstretch there. There's a lot of questions as to why there's an American flag flying in Canada, but apparently Silver Speed had something to do with it, along with maybe the ARCSOA America boys. I guess you'll see it here. There's a big American flag. It's supposed to be a Canadian flag, but they in the middle of the night, they took down the American flag and put up a Canadian flag. So, or no, I'm sorry, took down the Canadian flag and put up the American flag. So, kind of a hijinks there by Silver Speed, as I'm not sure if ARCSOA is going to like that too much, or the Canadian fan base. Shepard and Pericles are still fighting over 4th position here. Pericles can't get the inside line to really work there, and Shepard will hold the position here. Still got quite a ways to go in this race, as Noah Hart, because of that battling, is going to catch these two. And this is kind of where things start working themselves out a bit. Meanwhile, Roman Rahal's catching the 2 leaders of DJ Curtis and Ryan Griffin. Rahal is, I believe, the fastest car on track right now. He is auditioning for a ride with another team, and this could be a big race for him if he can pull a win off here. Near disaster here on lap 47, as the 83 car would get into Aiden Shepard there. Luckily, that Shepard had lost enough speed that it didn't exactly turn him there. But Shepard would lose a couple of spots here, and but that could have been a whole lot worse. Ryan Griffin's been on a roll as of late, just chucking up victory after good finish after victory. Ryan Griffin, I think, has the most wins this season. I think he has 2 so far, and at this rate, he's on his way to a 3rd, and with how difficult it is to pass, that could be a real possibility that he could get a 3rd win here, but he is coming up to the very slow Ryan Matthews car, and now DJ Curtis is looking underneath him for the lead. I don't believe Curtis has a win yet this year. He might have won early this year, but he might have a win now that I think about it. Maybe at Nashville. I forget who won Nashville, but looks like DJ Curtis might be trying way down low here on Griffin. That's kind of an aggressive move, as Matthews kind of took the high line there, the preferred line. Now Curtis is at a disadvantage, and yes, that also slows up Rahal, so Griffin's going to continue leading. Nick Pericles would pit for a tire rub, presumably for the incident with Aiden Shepard. You don't want to do that too often around this track, because that is kind of scary, but this might actually work into Pericles' hands if he doesn't get a yellow. And actually for Ryan Griffin, well, for Nick Pericles, Ryan Griffin's teammate. Pericles actually had a camshaft problem as well. He went back out on the track after the tire rub and realized that there was a camshaft issue and retired from the race. Tough break for Nick Pericles. I didn't expect him to fall out from that. Noah Hart has worked his way through the pack and is now in 4th position now. He does have a long way to go to catch the 3 leaders, though. But if anybody can do it, it would be Noah Hart. Ryan Griffin leads at the halfway mark. DJ Curtis really can't do anything with him, maybe until the pit stop cycle. Not a whole lot you can do in this situation with Griffin just kind of hanging out there. And, well, not a whole lot Curtis can do either. Curtis slides a bit there, and you can tell their tires are falling off because they're not holding as well as speed around the corners as they were. Big Pac-12 on back. Ooh, contact there with Siren and Wilhoit. That could have been a disaster. But I was just going to say, this is a big pack back here with Messina, Jackwater, Jacob Hart, Aaron Perkins, Shelton, and Cross are all in this pack. Brock and Eichholz also are joining in. Brock needs some good runs here, I think. But a little further back, Dodd, Tauger, and Stella. And back to the leaders. Ryan Griffin still leading. However, a caution for debris would come out. However, a debris caution would come out here on lap number 74, as now you're going to start seeing who's going to pit. Vincent Allen's coming down pit road. Ryan Griffin is not. Neither is a few of these other cars, as I believe there were some pit stop cycles already taking place. But right now, Ryan Griffin's staying out. The 7 of DJ Curtis had pitted right as the yellow was coming out, so he was saved actually. He got across the line before he could be lapped. Even though he was on pit road, he was saved. So that's pretty interesting there. So Ryan Griffin leads Roman Rahal and Jake Baskinger on the start. Baskinger won at the little bit longer version of this track in Paris. Green flag is out. There's Ryan Matthews again on the inside line. He has been slow on the restarts all day. Ryan Griffin didn't get off to a great start either, though. Actually, Matthews got off to a better start than Griffin, so I wonder if there's an issue in maybe Griffin's car, as that inside line is kicking butt right now. There's something wrong with Griffin's car. Definitely something wrong with the Griffin car here. As I'm looking for the leader now, I think actually Luca Fontana just took the lead, I want to say. 4 wide is freaking terrifying. Oh dear, that's freaking scary. And Shelton nearly paid the price for it. I don't know who's leading this race right now. Is it Fontana's our leader? Luca Fontana in a Nopea, Finland is leading this race with Jacob Hart now on the outside. Now you've got Fontana diving up the inside with help from Atkins, who won last week in Quebec. Atkins is looking low. Can't do a whole lot in these lap traffic here as Fontana gets off to a lead and is opening up a gap. That's what Fontana needs to do. Could Luca Fontana, an underdog all year, win a race here? Jacob Hart gets a good run off the corner as well as, Atkins tried a crazy move there on Fontana and had to back way out of the throttle. These cars are all on old tires, obviously, and, well, Hart isn't. Jacob Hart, I believe, is on brand new tires, and, well, I think that will make things pretty simple for Jacob Hart. Fontana, they tried rolling the dice, and I don't think it's going to work. Definitely a lot of issues with Ryan Griffin. He's falling back like a brick right now, falling way down the order. I think he's been just trying to get on pit road, but just can't. Oh, crash in front of him. Charles Sanford here would get turned by Dodd. That's our point leader, Charles Sanford. Slides up the track, and Ryan Griffin, another major points contender, would get a big piece there in that wreck. Luckily, Sanford would get away. Shepard was forced down pit road. The 08 of Dodd here would get in with Jackwater here. Fly down pit road, luckily for them. Oh, well, no. Luckily, they didn't fly back up the track, I'll just say. Scary hit here for Tanya Jackwater. This could have ended really badly here as Jackwater would spin out of control and hit the tire wall there. Luckily, there's a lot of tires there before that. This would take us considerable time cleaning up. Here it is again from a camera that we can actually see stuff on. And luckily for Jackwater, that didn't get too out of control. On board the very sick-sounding Ryan Griffin car. And you're going to see this wreck take place in front of him here as he flies up and, well, not a whole lot Griffin could do to miss that one. On board with Charles Sanford. This is going to be a wild ride. Sanford gets turned down the track and actually gets ricocheted back up the track. Noah Hart actually got a piece there. And well, Ryan Griffin was the big one there to cause issues. Jacob Hart will lead the field back to the green with Fontana in second, Atkins in third, Aaron Perkins in fourth, Cross in fifth, sixth to Angel, seventh to Ray Hall, eighth to Will Hoyt, ninth to Eichholz. So we're seeing a lot of cars we wouldn't normally expect up the order. Jacob Hart's had a miserable season. Gets off to a great start though, Jacob does. And now Fontana's holding back as Matthews is holding up the inside line with a bunch of lapped cars and slow cars that probably had no chance anyway. It's actually, looks like Joshua Michaels was going to be a factor there, got held up as Eichholz did as well. Vincent Allen's held up, Baskinger's held up. A lot of cars that were strong early on are being held up. Aaron Perkins is the car to make the run out of the main pack, as Perkins is going to try and catch Atkins and Fontana, and well, Jacob Hart, who is the leading car to pit on that one caution for tires, is just pretty much romping with it now. Able to hold more speed through the corner. Actually, though, his tires are falling off a bit, and Fontana's keeping up with him, I believe. Let's see, 19.2 to a 19.1, so Fontana's actually faster right now, although he went a little deep into that corner and will lose some time. Big pack further back here with Aiden Shepard, Charles Sanford, James Shelley, Noah Hart, who has some front-end damage, as you can see from that little contact he had there with Sanford. And, well, you're just seeing kind of some very aggressive racing further back. You don't want to see this too often, or else you might see even a bigger wreck. Sean Angel had to pit for I believe, a tire going down on the restart, and now Jacob Hart is stuck behind him, so this could be big for someone like Fontana, who is pretty much on strategy and on merit is running P2, which I wouldn't have thought that, as now Hart's going to try and slide low, not going to make it work there, as these cars are pretty much on old tires with the exception of Hart. And now you're going to see Fontana should be able to reel in Jacob Hart pretty cleanly here, because he's having issues with Angel right now, but these cars aren't that strong either. I'm looking for the first car that pitted, might be Will Hoyt on that last run, and he doesn't even look that strong either. As I go a little further back, Jake Baskinger I know did, and a couple of cars way back here did as well. I think Michelia did. However, Jacob Hart is pulling away from Fontana. That car just simply doesn't have the power to get going here. But the Nokia Finland, interesting about Nokia Finland is that they're going to be having Koenigseggs next year. One of the craziest car manufacturers out of Scandinavia I've ever seen. And Koenigseggs will be interesting, I think, for ARCSOA Elite Series. Preliminary test shows that they are fast as ever, those Koenigseggs are, and they should be fun. Jacob Hart, however, as this race would go on, would draw in a massive lead. You can see back there to the Nokia Finland how far back it is. And actually there's kind of a train starting to form behind the Nokia Finland. Fontana's doing his best right there in the position, but simply not going to work out well for him, I don't think. Atkins has got to start thinking about making a move. Ben Atkins does look low in his Kia Optima, but it's not going to work there. Atkins lost a ton of speed there, and that actually bottles everybody else up behind him. And that's going to maybe put Aaron Perkins in a striking distance, but Perkins slides a bit too. So it is kind of a sketchy track to race on. Jacob Hart now is lapping some of the slower cars out there right now, like Charles Sanford, Jessica Shelton, and Ryan Matthews. And this is where things are pretty much looking up for Hart. He's just got to get through some of these cars and he'll be fine. Not a great day for Sanford. He's only going to pick up some minimal points to increase his point lead. But really, all of his championship contenders haven't been that strong. All of his championship rivals haven't been that strong either today. So Vincent Allen's in 8th, so that's pretty much it for them. Baskinger's up there, I guess, as well. So there will be some cars gaining points, and I think Allen probably will take the lead, but this rate, I'm thinking not going to be too bad for Sanford as we're watching Luca Fontana continue to hold second. Ben Atkins would finally try and get underneath Fontana, but it still wouldn't work out well for him, as he's actually going to fall back out quite a bit more, slide up in front of Perkins. Perkins has to back off, but now Perkins has got the inside line, and Perkins, I think, is going to take over third, unless, no, Perkins had to back off, and that gives it back to Atkins. And now will Cross be a factor for maybe fourth? Cross and Michaels have been battling the last couple of laps for fifth. It's not going to work out well for them in this race, but right now, Jacob Hart only, well, he has a pretty big lead, and with only 4 to go, that pretty much is going to go to Hart. Messina would get by Ray Hall here, as Ray Hall's fallen back after, I think he caught the wall maybe, and he's fallen back quite a big margin, so Ray Hall falls back quite a few spots to a very undesirable from 6th down to, well, actually down to 7th, 4th. However, this race would belong to Jacob Hart. Hart dominated the end part of the race, and Jacob Hart wins the round of British Columbia at the Vancouver Speedrome. Jessica Sheldon actually had to pit there at the end. Second's going to go to Luca Fontana on an impressive running. Third goes to Ben Atkins. I believe one of the CFAs broke down. Right at the end of the race, Jay Stella would break down in the 31 car. I think run out of gas maybe and just pull off to the side. Not a whole lot he's going to do. Michaels had to pit there on the last lap, so that's going to hurt him quite a lot. We're going to have a really screwed up order, I believe. So, Jacob Hart is your winner today, followed by Luca Fontana, Ben Atkins, Aaron Perkins, Andrew Cross, Gabe Messina up to 6th. Great job by Messina, despite the damage. 7th to Rail. Rail fell back late. 8th to Michelia. 9th to Vincent Allen, 10th to DJ Curtis. Both those cars needed good points days to reel in on Charles Sanford, and I think they're going to get that. I'm not sure, but I think one of them should get the lead. 11th to Will Hoyt. Will Hoyt needed a solid finish. 12th to Baskinger. 13th to Dodd. 14th to Noah Hart. 15th to Truck Tauger. 16th to William Brock. 17th to Sean Angel in the final Canadian round. Tough break for the Canadian. I believe he might be the highest finishing Canadian. I'll have to check back on that, but I believe he is. 18th goes to Joshua Michaels. 19th goes to Aiden Shepard. 20th to Jacob Eichholz. 21st to James Shelley. 22nd to Jay Stella, despite running out of gas. 23rd goes to Charles Sanford. 24th to Jessica Sheldon, who blew up at the end of the race. Coming across with a few to go, Shelton blew up, and 25th to Cooper Siren, 3 laps down. It's been kind of a crazy race here. Next race, we go to the round of South Carolina. We're going back to the States for the round at Darlington, which last year didn't have the best race, but in years past has had a thrilling race, and I can't wait for that one. So the final Superspeedway race of the season, well, not really a Superspeedway, but the final high-speed oval of the season is now behind us. Jacob Hart, your winner, and we'll see you for the round of South Carolina at Darlington.